Hello, I'm Al Beatty. The purpose of today's video is to introduce WonderWings to you. The fly that I'm going to tie today is in fact the first chapter in a new ebook that we've written on that particular subject. It's a WonderWing Adams. Come on in and take a closer look. The fly you see here in the vise is the WonderWing Adams, and you can see that the wings are much different than the wings that you get when you do a hackle point wing. As an example, if you were to select feathers out of this hen cape, you'd search for a while and come up with a nice looking set of wings. No problem. What we've done though is we've developed a wing style, the WonderWing, in which we take these really big feathers at the base end of a cape and we form them into wings. So instead of searching through a cape, we actually make the wings. We find them faster and easier once you learn some of the techniques that we'll share with you in today's video and also in our ebook. Let's remove that fly from the vise and put a bare hook in the vise in its place. And we'll just start wrapping our thread on, starting about a quarter back from the hook eye. I'll trim off the waist end. I've already got some hackle fibers placed in my clothespin, so I will tie on that tail. I like to tie on the bare shank of the hook. Keeps the tail from heading downhill on me if I tie on top of a thread base. Seems like always when I get close to the end of the thread base, the slick hackle fibers will slip and then they kind of go downhill like this. And that's not what I'm looking for. I want my tail to stick straight out from the body of the fly. In fact, what I like to do is wrap forward and place one turn of thread under just to kind of lift that tail a little bit, and then wrap back one more time just to gather the fibers and come forward and it'll trim off the waist. Now I've selected a couple of feathers from the big end of that cape that we looked at a minute ago, and I'm going to prepare them to tie. And what we do is we place them so that they oppose each other. And now I'm just going to trim away the waist ends, get rid of the big part of the feather. Now we'll pull these fibers back along the stem so that we can tie them on the hook. You can see how we've got those swept back. First I better advance my thread forward to the 1/4 position. And I'm just going to kind of pull those wings out to where I want them to be and hold them up and tie them down tight. One of the problems you have with this standard WonderWing is the fact that those stems are tied to the hook shank, and they create a really good looking wing. That said, they also create a wing that's a little bit on the stiff side, and any of you who have cast a dry fly with stiff wings on a light tippet know that the end result is a twisted leader that's really a mess. So anyway, we're getting to the point we got these pretty much the way we want them. Let me divide the wings, and I'll trim off the waist, and that'll give us the start of our wings. Now I'm going to place these feathers back into my clothespin so that I can use them for another fly, and we're going to divide our wings with a couple of crisscross thread wraps. Now let me reach off camera and get some feathers and some dubbing. I've got some muskrat dubbing here, and before I put that muskrat dubbing on the fly, let me bring some dubbing wax into the mix here. We'll just put some of that on the thread. Get the stuff that we got on the wing off of there, on the head over there, and we'll just kind of touch dub the dubbing to the sticky thread, and we'll start wrapping the body, and make sure that we have a turn right there at the back to gather the tail fibers, and wrap forward until we get to our point where we want to tie on the hackle. Now, let me grab the hackle. I've already prepared a couple, put them in a clothespin, and we'll tie those on, a grizzly and a brown, as I work the thread forward to the front of the fly. Now let me trim off the waist end of the fibers here before I go all the way. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to wrap our hackle. I'm going to start with the brown one first. And a couple turns behind, and several turns in front. Just building up a good hackle base there. Okay, I'll trim off the waist part of that hackle, and we'll wrap the grizzly one forward. And 3 turns behind, and the rest in front. And we'll get up to this point to tie it off. And we'll do so, and it got away from me there. I don't want that to happen. Let me put that turn back on there. Working with the camera between me and the hook is a little bit of a challenge. Now I'm going to pull the fibers back, and after anchoring that feather, and build a thread head. Now I'm going to take a half-hitch tool and just slip a half-hitch in place there. And a couple more. But this time they're whip finishes when we put more than one turn on. Okay, that whip finishes the fly. Let me trim away the waist thread. The waist feather. Divide the wings. And there we have our Adams Wonder Wing fly. And that's chapter 1 of our new ebook. And it features a total of, let's see, what is it? 16 flies, or 15 flies in addition to this Wonder Wing Adams. As I stated earlier, the standard Wonder Wing, like we showed you here, is a little bit on the stiff side. It's beautiful, but stiff, and it will twist your leader. In chapter 2, we start showing you how to take away that stiffness and make a really good looking wing that doesn't cause a twisted leader. Enjoy.